Back in the 1970s and 80s, you'd see those TV shows, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. The bank robbers run out of the bank with the bags of money. They get in the car, and the driver, who's a really good driver, helps them get away from the scene of the crime and hopefully get away with it if we are rooting for them as the heroes, even though they're anti-heroes because they're criminals. They got away with it, and the driver who was in the car is their getaway driver. You've probably heard the phrasal verb get away. What's the first meaning that comes to mind when you hear it? It might be one of several. We're going to talk about what it means, or rather its different meanings, how it can be used, of course, with examples, and then hopefully at the end you'll know enough to be able to make your own examples. That will be the challenge I will give to you at the end. Okay, so get away. 2 words, get and away, which can be written as one in noun form, getaway, or perhaps as an adjective. You can say a getaway, or for example, a getaway car. Okay, now we don't really have necessarily a basic meaning here like we do with some phrasal verbs. I think here we just have different meanings and uses, and I've grouped them really into 3 parts. And the first one we're going to talk about is similar to leave. Okay, so we're going to read through the examples and then make sure we understand the sort of nuances for how this works. Okay, I can't handle all this stress. I need to get away for a few weeks. We had a nice weekend getaway for my birthday. It was relaxing. I had to get away from the party for a few minutes to call you back. Okay, now we're using the first 2 in a similar way and the third one a little bit differently. I can't handle all this stress. I need to get away. Okay, so what is get away? Is it from work that I need to get away from? Not necessarily. It may be that this is my normal routine. I'm just going to make normal routine as a circle, going to work, coming home, watching TV, making dinner, whatever you do normally. Okay. From that situation, I need an escape. I need a break. So this is similar to saying an escape, not like a dangerous situation, but just to escape a current situation, or a break. You're exhausted, you're tired, you're stressed, you're frazzled. You want to exit this for a little while. It's not that you want to leave forever, but maybe take a 2-week vacation, go to a resort, hang out by the beach, and then come back, and then everything will be better. Okay, well, that's pretty normal. I need to get away for a few weeks is often what we say when we talk about wanting to take a vacation because we feel burdened, stressed, or pressured by work, or we're just burnt out on what we've been doing, burnt out on the routine. And when we do that thing, we might call it a getaway. So a getaway as a noun here, a getaway as a noun is the thing that we do. Often, though, a weekend getaway is used for something small like a weekend. If we had a getaway and it's 3 weeks long, maybe not. It might be more common there to say a vacation, right? It would be okay, it's fine. But I think it's more often used for something very short, very quick, and usually something fun, relaxing. We wouldn't use business trip for getaway. We wouldn't say, oh yeah, I had a business getaway. Probably not, unless the purpose of that is with your team relaxing. Maybe it's an off-site and you want to team build, right? And you want to hang out with your team, drink mojitos, and maybe talk a little bit of business. That might be a work getaway. But usually we're talking about relaxation, having fun, okay? It was relaxing. What was relaxing? Getaway. So let's call that something like a little trip. A little trip. Okay, I had to get away from the party for a few minutes to call you back. I'm at a party. I see someone calls, but the music, it's very loud, and people are talking to me. People are walking up to me and having conversations. So I need to leave, maybe go out to the street where it's quiet, and then call you back. This is not the same as escaping necessarily or taking a break. It's that I just have to go away for a short period of time from an obligation or something that I am engaged in order to do something else, right? I'm I'm doing this thing. I'm at the party. I'm obligated to be here. I'm engaged in being here. But then I have to say, okay, hold on. Take a quick break, leave for a few minutes, make a phone call, and then come back. So there, getting away would be maybe people not noticing me, or maybe escaping from my social obligations, people talking to me. Do you think we could get away for a few minutes to just buy some snacks? I don't like any of the food here. Let's see if we can get away for a few minutes. So that feels very different than using it to talk about a vacation, even though the ultimate meaning is similar in the sense of leaving what you're currently doing. Okay, now how about perhaps the meaning that you thought about first when I asked you the question, what comes to mind when you think or hear of get away? Get away from those loose wires. It could be dangerous, okay? We should probably get away from the construction area. Get away. I'm trying to concentrate. Okay. So these three, what's the feeling we get? Well, if there's some loose wires and your kids are over there messing around, we want to urgently tell them to stop doing that because we worry about their safety. We worry that if they keep playing around near those loose wires that they could be electrocuted. And so it's an urgent thing that we need to say, hey, get away from there. So when you see someone in that kind of situation, it's a get away from there sort of thing, and it is very urgent. Now, maybe you're angry, maybe not. Maybe this is just a life or death situation, and you want to tell them, hurry up and get away from there for their own safety. Not that you're angry, but just that it is very, very urgent. So again, you could express your anger at this situation or not. Okay, now what about this one? We should probably get away from the construction area. So here's an area where dangerous things could happen. Things could fall, right? We're not wearing a hard hat, so something could hit you in the head and kill you, yes. But it may not be as urgent as the case of the loose wires, right? The loose wires, kids playing, urgent, life, death, stop immediately, right now, yell because it's so urgent. Maybe we're just walking through an area and we see that we're inside the fence of the construction area because that's where we had to walk. And then, this happens a lot in New York City, by the way, sometimes you just realize, oh, crap, I'm in the middle of a construction area. And you see that dangerous things could happen and you're not really prepared to handle those dangerous things. So you make a suggestion to whomever you're with, hey, we should probably get away from the construction area. There's less urgency for this one. This is more like a just move from this place. And we should do it now, yes, but it's not a sort of situation. You can use it for the sort of situation, but you can also use it much more casually with much less urgency, and I think this would be a good example of that. Now, what about frustration? What about when we feel very annoyed? Annoyed by something, angry. People keep pestering me. People keep bothering me. I'm trying to concentrate. People keep sending me things and asking me to do things. I need you to do this. Please. Get away. If people are physically around you, right? I'm not recommending you do this. This is quite rude. But let's say it's people you know well, okay? Usually we can be rude to people we know well. At least that's my policy. So you're really annoyed and you can't take it anymore. And you just say, get away. Get away from me now. I'm trying to concentrate. Now you could say that more gently. You could say, could you please give me some space? That would be a casual way to say it. Please give me some space. And that would be totally fine. Give me a bit of space, please. I need some space. That would be a polite way to ask. But if you have this sense of rage, frustration, anger about not having space and people keep bothering you, get away would be a way to express that. Again, I'm not recommending that you express it that way. All I'm saying is people do. People say that when they're angry or frustrated, and you'll hear that, right? Get away from me as well, right? Maybe a salesperson comes up to you on the street, and you say no, but then they keep following you, and then you say no again. Maybe you're polite the first time. neutral the second time, and finally they walk up to you and they put their hand on your shoulder. Okay, that's bad. Don't do that. Get away from me. There, I think that you would have the good reason to say get away, because they have violated your personal space after being told no 2 times already. Get the hell away from me. Again, rude, yes, but maybe to counter something rude that happened to you. Okay, now a very common usage for get away. We were chasing the car that did the hit and run, but it got away. You don't often hear about bank robbers and getaway drivers anymore. You can easily get away with shoplifting. I wonder if I could get away with skipping my meetings and just lay in bed all day. He's so spoiled he could probably get away with murder. All right, so what is going on with these? It's using the same thing in the same way, but different severity in different situations. We were chasing the car that did the hit and run. Okay, so a car hit another car and drove away, and I decided to chase it so that I can see the license plate number and write that down. But before I could see it, the car drove very quickly. I couldn't catch up. It went through a green light. I had to stop at the red light. It got away. That means it avoided responsibility. It avoided being caught. It avoided consequences, right? If you avoid consequences legally, or you avoid consequences in some other way, you get away from whoever is trying to catch you. And often, if you just talk about that thing itself, we would say just get away with it. But different levels of severity, because that could be a legal consequence. Someone commits a crime like a hit and run, and they get away from me so I can't see them, but then they also get away with it, and the it is the hit and run. Okay, so that's a legal thing. But then you could use the same phrase to talk about parents and their kids. Right, a kid is not supposed to do something, they do something. Maybe go out late at night, it was their bedtime, teenagers going out with friends, didn't get caught in the morning, I got away with it. That means I didn't get caught breaking the rules that I was supposed to follow, so I succeeded in doing a bad thing, so I got away with it. Okay, so that's how we would use it for that. You don't hear about bank robbers and getaway drivers anymore. So here, getaway, again, using it as an adjective, notice that it is one word, G-E-T-A-W-A-Y, getaway, getaway driver. What is a getaway driver? The driver that helps you get away. Back in the 1970s and 80s, you'd see those TV shows, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. The bank robbers run out of the bank with the bags of money. They get in the car, and the driver, who's a really good driver, helps them get away from the scene of the crime and hopefully get away with it if we are rooting for them as the heroes, even though they're anti-heroes because they're criminals. They got away with it, and the driver who was in the car is their getaway driver. You don't hear about that often anymore. I don't know if it's that people are not robbing banks anymore or if they're just doing it in a different way. I have no idea. I haven't robbed a bank in years. You can easily get away with shoplifting. So this is a common thing in America now. It seems like you could just go into a shop and take something and walk out. And for larger shops like CVS or something, they just won't stop you. And in fact, I think in some cities they have policies where they're not allowed to stop you and you can just walk out with stuff. So that's shoplifting. It's illegal, but it's very easy to get away with it, meaning that no one is going to stop you and there's not a lot of security and no one really cares anymore, perhaps. Okay. I wonder if I could get away with skipping my meetings. So what is this get away with skipping my meetings? Is it illegal to do that? Is it against some rules? Well, no, but I am supposed to attend the meetings. I'm supposed to be there. And if I get away with not doing that and I lay in bed all day, that means that I can avoid it without negative consequences, right? So you could even say that about your run. You were supposed to go on a run today. You were supposed to go to the gym today. I think I could get away with not going to the gym for one day. I think I could get away with having one slice of pizza. I think I could get away with maybe skipping the gym. So get away with that means you're avoiding some consequences that you hoped or you hope don't happen. So Getting away with having a slice of pizza would be able to eat that slice of pizza without gaining weight, perhaps, or noticeably gaining weight. Or getting away with skipping a day at the gym means because you work out so much every other day, it's not going to be very noticeable or a big deal if you miss one of the days at the gym, right? So you can use it for that sort of personal commitment to yourself as well. It's very flexible. It's very useful in this sort of situation. He's so spoiled he could probably get away with murder. Now, this is an exaggeration, but it is a pretty common expression to say someone could get away with murder when you want to emphasize how free someone has it, or how little the people responsible for that person care, or how much people love this person, and so they're willing to forgive anything. If you want to emphasize that, we often say he could get away or she could get away with murder. That could be parents who spoil their child. Whatever you want, we will never punish you. You can have anything. So we say he doesn't have any negative consequences if he does the wrong thing. They don't enforce it, so he could get away with murder. But you could also say that with adoring fans of someone. They love him so much, they would never criticize him. Even if he did something wrong, they wouldn't be angry about it. He could get away with murder. It's just a common expression, specifically could probably or could get away with murder, to mean whoever would hold this person responsible would not do that if this person did do something not good, not necessarily murder, but that's the most extreme example, so that's why it's used. So those are the most common ways to use get away with. Those three. What I'd like you to do is try to make several examples on your own. You can send those to me in the comments, or if you like, you can put them in the community Discord under the challenge submissions, okay? So if you haven't joined the Discord already, you can find that in the links in the description. That is free, a community that we're just starting to build. So feel free to join and post your examples in that section of the Discord, in that channel. Or again, you can put them in the comments. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And of course, check out my courses in the links in the description. If you like, you can start with a free one, which is the first link in the description, Natural English Conversations.